On today's episode of Alive and Thriving, I am going to ask you a question. And that question is, have you ever had a healing hangover? Now, this is a really important part of the healing process and something that is really important to bring awareness to. So, if you are embarking on a healing journey or you have been doing some processing and releasing, then you need to listen to this. Let's talk about the side effects of healing. This is Alive and Thriving, where we tackle all things that stand in the way of holistic well-being and self-care in life and as women in business. Join me for real and raw conversations and inspiring guests who are expert in their fields as we come back to life together, overcoming stress, anxiety, nourishing our mind, body, and emotions. I am your host, Jessica Reed, alternative therapist, life and wellbeing coach. And if you are ready to grow, heal, and thrive together, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's talk about a healing hangover. First of all, what is a healing hangover? It is a side effect of healing, processing, and letting go. Now, the reason I want to bring awareness to a healing hangover is, first of all, if you are experiencing it or something similar, I want you to know that it is completely normal and it is actually a really healthy part of the process. The thing with the healing hangover is just like a regular hangover, it doesn't feel so fantastic. Now, it is not going to happen every time, but sometimes when we address and we acknowledge and we begin to release big things, when we have energetic shifts within our body, remembering that emotions that we have been living in or living with, experiencing for a long period of time, come at their own energetic frequency. And this energetic frequency will impact the tissues around wherever your body is storing those emotions. So as energy beings, our body is used to vibrating at a certain level. We are used to thinking certain thought patterns. We even have created shortcuts in our brain to think and rethink those thought patterns with ease. And we have basically like a filing cabinet in our brain, a memory center for memory and learning, our hippocampus, where we have filed and tagged memories, and we have tagged associations with those memories thanks to our amygdala, which is our emotional response center. And so when we have been living in trauma or been living with an event, we have things that have upset us, that have made us angry, things that we have been carrying for a long time, or even not a long time, but that we're used to carrying. Our body is used to functioning, vibrating at a certain frequency. Our brain is used to thinking certain ways. And these memories and events have all been tagged and filed in certain ways in your brain, whether those ways be right or wrong. And when I say wrong, maybe that's not quite the right word for that. But what I mean is those memories have been tagged in a way that kept you safe at the time and made sense at the time, but are no longer serving you now. For example, keep it really simple, you're scared of dogs and you have filed memories of dogs in a way that is only associating frightening things. And as you begin to release that fear and address that fear and maybe heal or desensitize the trauma attached to whatever experiences you've had, the brain has to then work out how to refile that. And it's going to refile that in a way that is more right for you now, a way that is going to help you in the here and now, to help you move forward, that makes more sense for you now. Because logically and in reality right now, you don't need to be scared of dogs. And if you've then chosen to face that and let that go, then when you start that process, that refiling process needs to start happening. And so what happens is we are disrupting the body's energetic system. When we are moving out of that frequency of fear, we're moving out of that frequency of the emotion that we've been living in, we're disrupting that energetic frequency. And when we disrupt that energetic frequency, we are going to then have reprocessing that has to happen. So as I said, we have to figure out now, how are we going to process those memories? What does that dog memory now mean to me? And this work energetically, emotionally, mentally, it's exhausting. It's exhausting because even though to you it may just seem like you might just be tapping and talking, or you might just be validating emotions or doing inner child work, it might seem like you're only really using your brain, but you are using your whole energy system. You are using your whole body. You are using your whole mind, logical and emotional, to process and to heal and to let go. So when you embark on this journey, there are big shifts that need to happen. And sometimes we can process something and let it go, and straight away we feel like there is a weight that has been let off our shoulders and we feel fabulous. And that's great. And sometimes we can process something big and heavy and even still have that weight feeling lifted off, but go into what I call an emotional healing hangover. And that hangover, again, is normal. It is totally essential for your body. If you are going through it, you are meant to be going through it. It doesn't mean that the healing didn't work. It doesn't mean that nothing has shifted for you. And it doesn't mean that the healing or facing the things that you need to face, dealing with what you need to deal with, is scary or wrong. It simply means that your body and your mind, your energy system, it is all reprocessing, reprogramming, figuring out now what these memories, these thoughts, these events now mean, where they're now going to go, what significance and weight they're now going to have in your life. And what this hangover can feel like is very similar to a hangover. You might feel nauseous. You may feel a little anxious. You may feel really, really energetically spent, just really, really tired. You may feel a little bit confused and dazed. You may feel a little on edge, a little bitey. And these mood changes, again, are completely normal while you are reprocessing. But the good news is that for most people, this will only last up to sort of 24 to 48 hours. And then what comes on the other side of that? Once your brain and your body has then worked out where these new memories or these old memories with new meanings, with new safety attached to them, these things that we are letting go, these things that we are acknowledging, what these now mean to you. Once your brain has then figured that out and your body has figured that out and it's processed the release, what can then happen beyond the hangover is where we start to step into emotional freedom from those things. So the hangover, and don't worry if you don't get one, because as I said, sometimes we will and sometimes we won't. But quite often, after a big therapy session or a big healing session, big coaching session, when we have been emotionally triggered, when we have been exploring our inner world, holding space, feeling big feelings that we wouldn't necessarily allow ourselves to feel and sit with in, everyday life, that we might be doing in this safe space, this safe container. When we start to feel those, it's hard work. And that hangover, again, is completely normal. Now, you also might notice if you've done some EFT with me or with somebody else that some common side effects of EFT is yawning. So, one, that is your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response coming into play. And two, that yawning can also signal an energy shift. Tears. We love tears. Tears are a way for your nervous system to regulate. Okay, crying is actually good for you. And you will find, particularly too, if you think that you are or you've identified as a super emotional person, that perhaps once you start to actually regulate your nervous system more often and you support that process intentionally with things like tapping, meditation, breath work, yoga, movement, you may actually find that need to regulate your emotions with crying eases off. So please tell me, let me know, have you had an emotional or a healing hangover? And if you have had it, what did you think was happening? Did it put you off going back to did it put you off going back for more? I'm not going back there. I felt terrible after that session. It's okay if that's how you feel. Acknowledge that and honor that. That's how you felt. But I really, really wanted to, with this short episode, just bring awareness to the fact that it does happen. That a post therapeutic or coaching healing session hangover is perfectly normal and encouraged. And if you are going through a process at the moment where you are releasing and letting go and you feel drained after a session, a little scattered, maybe a little moody while things are all reprocessing, reprogramming, please be gentle with yourself. This isn't the time to go and make big decisions and throw all of your energy into something that doesn't necessarily have to be done today. What you may need is just to ask yourself, what do I need in this moment to feel loved, to feel nurtured, to feel safe? And whatever that might be, do that. If that's putting on some music and dancing, if that is journaling out something, if that is a coffee with a friend, an afternoon nap, binge watching your favorite movie, whatever that may be for you, be kind through that process. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. You may have heard me say so many times, our society is so averted to emotions. We don't know what to do with them. We're uncomfortable. It's the whole stop crying. You're fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Could have been worse. All those completely unvalidating things. That's not what you're going to do right now if you are going through an emotional hangover. If you are going through an emotional hangover, you are going to be kind to yourself. You're going to ask yourself what you need. And you are going to say to yourself, I am allowed to feel this way. I hear you. I see you. And don't try to change it. Sit in the discomfort. Breathe deeply and know that it will pass and that it is actually a really positive part of your healing and your growth because, as I mentioned at the beginning, all of that reprogramming that is going on, your brain literally working out how to now refile these memories, how to retag them, your body adjusting to the release of the blockages. Your body also adjusting to the areas that were consumed by these lower vibrational energies. It's just reprogramming. Reprocessing, it's all it is. So it's nothing to be fearful of. And if you're worried, if it's gone for more than 48 hours and you're still not feeling great, or you've got things that are now starting to unravel for you, then I really hope that you have a relationship with whomever your therapist or your healer or your mentor, your coach, whatever it is you're doing. I hope that your relationship means that you can reach out to that person and say, this isn't going away from me. How can I feel better? And I would hope that that person would offer you some beautiful grounding techniques and some breathing from there. Now, I want to talk to you if you are somebody who feels like you are really desiring that growth and that elevation. You know you have skin to shed. You know that you have a part of you that you need to allow to let go of. A part of you to release, a part of you that has been in control, making the decisions that is no longer serving you. If you are desiring that elevation, that healing, that growth personally and professionally, then I would love to work one-on-one with you. If you know that your true self lies outside of the anxiety that you're experiencing, the stress that you're living in, the burnout that you're on the brink of, if you know that this isn't truly you, then I really, truly want to work with you. I want to hear from you. I have 3 different ways that we can work one-on-one together to suit what you are needing in this moment, to meet you where you are at. And that all starts with a complimentary 20-minute phone call where we just chat, or some voice messages in DMs if you prefer that. We just chat, find out what's going on with you, and talk about how alternative therapies that I offer could potentially support that. If this is you, reach out to me. I am here. I am ready. I'm waiting for you because I can feel in the energy as I speak that you are listening. And if you are ready, if you are exploring your healing, if you know that there is a next level version of you deep inside that just doesn't know how to come out because she has been so weighed down by what seems normal, by what she's familiar with, then that's okay. Let's chat. Let's meet that next level version of you. I can't wait. So I would love for you to book a complimentary chat if that is something you are feeling pulled to do. I will pop a link in the show notes below. Let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to hear. Reach out to me on Instagram. I am at jessica.reed.ilc. I'd love to know what your experiences are with emotional hangovers, with healing hangovers. Or is this a totally new concept to you? And I've just completely normalized something that you've been experiencing and worried about. Let me know. I love hearing from you. And until next week, have an amazing week. And I will see you then. You have been listening to Alive and Thriving by Inspired Life Collective. Did you know that you can help us to impact even more women on their well-being journey simply by subscribing to this podcast and leaving a review? If stress or anxiety, life or business has got you feeling inside like you are just busting to come back to life, then I invite you to book a discovery call with me so we can chat about how Inspired Life Collective private and online services might be able to support you through your journey. I am so grateful to you for being here and having me in your ears. So until the next episode, just remember that you were born to thrive.